Today, I will discuss our lesson for this week, which is all about exponential functions, equations, and inequalities. But for now, let's have a review on some exponential expressions and also the laws of exponents. So, before we proceed, let's take a look on the objectives for this week and the content of this video. You already know our objective for this week and also the content of this video. So now, let's proceed to our lesson. First, the law of exponent. So here's the definition of an exponent. An exponent is a small number written on the upper right, a number called base. So ganito siya kung titingnan natin. Wherein, yung 3 represents exponent and then yung 5 represents base. So this indicates the number of times that a number will be multiplied by itself. So ganito siya. So magiging 5 times 5 times 5. So yung exponent daw, siya yung nagre-represent kung ilang beses nating uulitin or multiplied yung base. So we have 125. Kung kanina nakita nyo is 5 raised to 3 yung given natin, wherein yung exponent natin is 3, tatlong beses nyo lang uulitin yung base, which is si 5. Kaya nag-cope up tayo sa ating sagot na 125. So exponential expression, it is an expression made up of numbers whose exponent is a variable or letter. So ganito yung ating exponential expression, wherein yung pinaka-exponent natin is variable ang given, not a number. So here's a comparison of exponential expression to other expression with exponents. So 4 raised to y and then x raised to 5. So saan dyan yung magiging exponential expression, saan dyan yung hindi. So yung 4 raised to y, ito yung tinatawag nating exponential expression. Then yung x raised to 5, hindi siya exponential expression. Bakit? Kasi nga, ulitin lang natin yung sa definition ng exponential expression, kailangan daw ang exponent natin ay variable or letters. So like for this one, so we have 5 times the quantity 4 raised to y, and then 4y raised to 5. So saan dyan ang exponential expression, saan dyan ang hindi. So yes, 5 times the quantity 4 raised to y, ito yung exponential. Then, yung 4y raised to 5, hindi siya exponential. Uulitin ko lang, ang exponential expression, given ang exponent ay letters or variable. So there are some exponential expressions that has a complex builds unlike any others. It could be reduced to a simpler form by using the laws of exponents. The first law of exponent that we discuss is the product rule. So ito yung magiging formula natin sa product rule, wherein we have a raised to m times a raised to n is equal to a raised to m plus n. So this means that if you multiply expressions with same bases, you will just copy the base. Again, if you multiply expressions with same bases, you will just copy the base and simply add the exponents. So for example, we have x raised to 10 times x raised to 5. So is equal to x raised to 15. So paano yun nangyari? Tingnan nyo yung base. So same sila ng base, which is x. Then yung exponent natin is simply i-add lang natin. Kaya makakuha natin sagot, 10 plus 5 is equal to 15. Note, ito yung note natin. Huwag nyo kakalimutan. You can only do it with same bases. Again, you can only do it with same bases. So our second rule is the quotient rule. Kanina kung may product rule, syempre may quotient rule tayo. Wherein we have a raised to m over a raised to n is equal to a raised to m minus n. This means that if you divide expression with same bases, you will just copy the base and subtract the exponent. Kung kanina sa product rule, in-add natin yung exponent, sa quotient rule naman, isa-subtract lang natin yung exponents. So here's the example. X raised to 10 over x raised to 5. So same sila ng base pa din, which is si x. So ang makuha natin sagot is x raised to 5. Paano natin nakuha yung ganyang sagot? Yung exponent, ima-minus lang natin. So we have 10 minus 5. Kaya meron tayong sagot na exponent na 5. And then yung base is yung x. Kaya ang sagot natin ay x raised to 5. Note, again, uulit-ulitin ko lang. You can only do it with same bases. So third rule is the power rule. So yan. We have a raised to m times the quantity raised to n is equal to a raised to m times n. This means that if an exponential expression is raised to another exponent, just multiply the exponents. So example, we have x raised to 10 raised to 2. So magiging sagot natin is x raised to 20. Paano nangyari yan? Yung 10, minultiply lang natin yung exponent sa labas, which is si 2, kaya nakuha natin is 20. Fourth rule, we have distributive rule. We have the quantity a raised to m times b raised to n times raised to p is equal to a raised to m times p, b raised to n times p. So same with quotient rule. I-distribute nyo lang din yung power sa labas. Okay? Or yung exponent sa labas. So we have a raised to m over b raised to n is equal to a raised to m times p over b raised to n times p. So if terms were multiplied or divided, the exponent outside, which is yung p, the expression can be distributed to both terms. Okay. So for example, we have x raised to 10, y raised to 5, raised to 2 is equal to x raised to 20, y raised to 10. So, i-multiply nyo lang yung power sa labas doon sa pinaka given, which is yung x raised to 10, y raised to 5. By using distributive rule. So, next, apply naman natin siya sa division. So, we have the quantity x raised to 10 over y raised to 5 times the power of 2. So we have x raised to 20 over y raised to 10. So, fifth rule is the zero exponent, wherein ang exponent natin given, 0. So, we have a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Any expressions raised to 0 is always equal to 1. As simple as that. Kapag may nakita kayong expressions na naka-raise sa 0, automatically, ang sagot nun ay 1. Like for example, we have x raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, we have also the negative exponent. Like for example, we have a raised to negative m is equal to 1 over a raised to m. So, any expression raised to negative number is always equal to the reciprocal with the positive exponent. Kapag may nakita kayong exponent na negative, so it is always a reciprocal with a positive exponent. So, magkakaroon siya ng numerator na 1, and then ang magiging denominator nyo is having a positive exponent, which is si a raised to m. So, for example, we have x raised to 3, or negative 3 rather, is equal to 1 over x raised to 3. Okay, so kapag negative number ulit, or negative yung ating exponent, magkakaroon siya ng reciprocal with a positive exponent. So, these laws are very useful for simplifying complex exponential expressions. Simplifying complex or complicated exponential expressions will give you ease on solving equations and inequalities. So, simplifying exponential expression. To simplify an exponential expression, you just need to consider all laws of exponents. You will use those laws for making sure that there will be no available processes could be made to an exponential expressions. To simplify the expression, so we have the quantity for x raised to 5 over 2x raised to 2 times the power of 4. So, you are freely to post this video para kayo rin ay makasunod or makapag-try mag-solve. So, our solution. So, first, syempre, meron tayong given. Ito yung right way kung paano natin isusulat yung ating solution. So, again, we have the first given. Kopyahin lang natin yung pinaka-given, which is the quantity for x raised to 5 over 2x raised to 2 times to the power of 4. Then, by applying the distributive rule, ayan, so meron tayong exponent sa labas, which is si 4. I-distribute mo siya sa kada term. So, ayan, si 4, i-distribute natin. O yung exponent na 4, i-distribute natin sa first term natin, which is si 4. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng 4 raised to 4. Then next, si exponent na 4 sa labas, distribute din natin kay x raised to 5. Kaya magkakaroon tayo ng x raised to 5 times 4. Divided by, so same process pa din, 2 raised to 4. And then, x raised to 2 times 4. Then we have to simplify these or those exponents. So we have 4 raised to 4. Ayan, simplify natin tong mga exponents na to. We have x raised to 20. Or 5 times 4, we have 20. Then 2 raised to 4. Ayan, simplify din natin to. We have x raised to 8. So 2 times 4, we have 8. Express all constants to smallest possible bases. So, kung makikita nyo dyan, class, hindi sila same base pa. Hindi pa sila magkakaparehas ng base. So, sa numerator, may base tayong 4. Then, meron tayong base na 2 sa denominator. So, kailangan dapat same sila ng base. Kung hanggat maaari, kaya natin siyang i-simplify or i-express natin yung mga constant sa smallest possible bases, i-simplify natin. So, itong 4 raised to 4, meron pa siyang simplest form, which is si 2 raised to 2. Yung 4 na base natin, pwede natin siyang i-simplify as 2 raised to 2. So, ito siya, ganito siya. Magiging 2 raised to 2 to the power of 4. So, ayan. So, meron na tayong same bases. Meron na tayong base na 2 at saka may base na x. Then, simplify using power rule. So, ayan. By using power rule, we have 2 raised to 2 times raised to 4. Ang makuha natin sagot is 2 raised to 8. So, ayan. Mas maganda na siyang tingnan. So, we have 2 raised to 8, x raised to 20 over 2 raised to 4, x raised to 8. So, by applying quotient rule, again, when we say quotient rule, i-subtract lang natin yung ating mga exponents. So, yan. Yung first term muna, unahin natin with same base, which is 2. Yan. Ang makukuha natin sagot is 4. So, 8 minus 4, we have 4. So, meron tayong unang term, which is 2 raised to 4. Then, yung second term naman natin, subtract lang din natin yung exponent. We have x raised to 12, or 20 minus 8 is equal to 12. Then, simplify constants if possible. So, paano ba natin siya i-simplify? So, si 2 raised to 4, is-simplify natin siya. Okay? So, we have 16. So, 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 4 na beses natin siyang i-multiply, o 4 na beses natin siya uulitin. I-multiply. So, we have 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8 times 2, 16. And then, x raised to 12. So, meron na tayong final answer, 16x raised to 12. Always remember that not all complicated expressions with exponents looks like our example. Thus, the steps I've taken earlier will be completely different with other expressions to be simplified. Grab the process, not the example. Again, grab the process, not the example. Apply the laws of exponent correctly.